So on the evening of July 15th was one that they were not really anticipating. When they went to go and wake her up, she wasn't in there. My name is Lisa, and this is The Search. If you are new to my channel, I concentrate on unsolved crimes. I follow up on mysteries of missing, murder, and trafficking. So if that's something that you're interested in, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and notifications so that you don't miss anything. If you're returning, thank you. And that is what we need to help this community grow and help find people justice. Today, guys, I want to get into a story about a young lady that's 16 years old from Aurora, Colorado. In 2016, a girl by the name Lashaya Stine was really doing an amazing job. She was 16 years old and lived, like I said, with her family in Aurora, Colorado. She attended George Washington High School and was known for being an excellent student. And when I mean excellent, she overdid it in everything. Honor roll student. And she wanted to become a nurse, so she knew that she had to really do extra. She was a nurturer. That's what she wanted to do. Her mother's name was Sabrina, and she had two brothers that she was very close to, and the family had a great connection with each other. Really great life. But one thing we were even more proud of to hear from her was that she had been selected to go to the University of Colorado Hospital for an internship. So, like, that was really big for the family, and they were excited. They definitely knew that she was on her mission. She was on her way, ready to accomplish her goals, and she was working so hard. Like I said, she was on the honor roll. I mean, she was not messing up this opportunity for anything. I want to kind of take you now to what we are going into and looking at what happened with her. So on the evening of July 15th was one that they were not really anticipating. She was actually looking forward to a job interview the next day. Lashaya had a job interview at the Firehouse Pub sub place. The day before, everything was normal. You know, she was doing her thing, getting ready to go. That night, everything was good. I will tell you this. The boys went to bed, everybody's in bed, and about 2 o'clock, she gets up and tells her brothers, because I guess they were still making noise and loud. She's like, look, I'm trying to go to bed. Y'all need to go to sleep. Later, we would find out it was probably so they'd make sure they wouldn't wake up her mom. But this was also, though, something she did was get on to them. I mean, like I said, she was a good student. She was a good kid, guys. We all do things as teenagers, but she was a good kid. So it wasn't out of the norm for her to get on at them at 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, it was just something the sister did. The next morning, the family got up and realized that Lashaya was not in the house. When they went to go and wake her up for her interview, she wasn't in there. The mom's like, look, go down there, get your sister, wake her up. And when they went there, the brothers are the ones that did not see her in there and was like, Mom, she's not here. Like, we don't see her. So, of course, they look around the house, they look, and they right away notice that she is not there, that she is gone. So, they were going to be taking her to her interview. That right there was like, whoa, where is she at? So, right away, the mom gets on the phone and calls her cell phone, and it goes straight to voicemail. She made many attempts, and of course, nothing. At that time, she went in the neighborhood looking around, see if she could see anything, and nothing. Totally unsuccessful. So at that time, the family went ahead and contacted the police, who initially treated this case as a runaway case. And I'll talk a little bit about that. It would be almost a week before it was taken seriously. That was because the police chief, who had been gone for a week on vacation and who was known, to take these things seriously. And when he got back and heard of this case, he was like, Oh no, we are taking a closer look. Now, I will tell you that when she talked to the police, they did look at her window and notice that her windows were open and that like there was a I think a pot turned over. So it was evident that she left her stuff unlocked so that she could get back in. There was ways she could step back in and step out. I don't think this might not have been her first time, but also she did not take anything with her. They looked around in her room, nothing was gone. And her mom says, you know what, she was a diva. If she was going out and gonna be gone or running away or doing anything like that, one, she would have taken her clothes, all her cosmetics, everything. She left without anything. She obviously was just going to meet somebody. But who was that somebody? And why had she not come back that morning or that week, unfortunately? During this week, the police also informed the family when the chief, had got back that they had actually found surveillance video of Lashaya that night, the night that she left. It was about 2:30 a.m. They could actually get a video seeing her walking near East Montview Boulevard and Peoria Street. It actually shows her like walking across the street and then she goes out of the camera sight. Lashaya's ex-boyfriend and friends were all questioned, but no clues were even given. No information came up about her meeting anybody or her telling anybody. No one was suspected of foul play. Various tips came in that pointed to Lashaya being the victim of possible human trafficking, including sightings of her coming like in and out. Like how they kind of came up with this was due to the tips that said that they had seen her in motels in areas that were like popular for trafficking. And there's no reason that she on her own would be in those motels. There's no way. She had a great family. She had a positive future ahead of her. She was doing big things. Like I said, she'd worked so hard to even earn that internship. No way was she leaving all that to go hang out in a scuzzy motel that was responsible for letting trafficking go on there, allegedly. They also said that in these sightings that she was seen with a man who thought to have been taking her in and out of Colorado and into different states. Now, I know some of the states had been mentioned, like New Mexico, Missouri, basically the surrounding states around Colorado area. So I know of quite a few were named. So basically, all around there, that's what happens, unfortunately, in traffic rings. They try to get them out of the states, or they have things that they run lines that they run through. They have a whole traveling mapped out. They constantly keep them on the move so that you cannot recognize them as suspicious. They keep them moving. They change the people. Guys, these are signs. So we always want to pay attention to whatever we see and always report it. It's always a tip, no matter how little, how big, report it. You never know. In any instance, when it comes to any kind of sex trafficking, we need to help these people as much as possible. If you recognize that these people are in danger or something looks funny, call. It doesn't matter. There'll be tip lines that I leave that you can call if you see anything, and we'll get into that at the end. One of the tipsters actually claimed to have seen Lashaya in the motel, accurately described the distinct scar on her chest. A girl escaped from trafficking also came forward, claiming to have been with Lashaya. So, when they described that on her chest, yes, they could find things out there. People are talking. Somebody might have known Lashaya. They're hearing rumors. But for her to come forward and say that had been involved in this, I really feel she was telling the truth, which is more important why we need this story out. Unfortunately, police were never successful in finding her in any of those locations or sightings. In 2019, they did release a age progressed photo of Lashaya. And I want to tell you, People can be really cruel in incidents like this. You would think all of us would have empathy when someone is missing their child. Through this, Miss Sabrina dealt with a few scams, people calling, asking for money like as of ransom, or they knew where she was and they wanted, to send money, and they would release Lashaya. Lashaya owed them money, and they all were scams. People will prey on this, so please always be aware if you're in this predicament. This can happen to anybody. How much more can Miss Sabrina and family take, and friends, So I just thought I'd add that part. Please do your own research. You can look into this story. Everything that I've found has been of public reading. So I just have so much empathy for this family, and which is why I chose trafficking as something that I do focus on. This one really grabbed me, especially knowing that there was people even trying to scam her. And this is kind of popular in the trafficking world. It does happen a lot, unfortunately. November 21st, 2020, after receiving a tips and leads, Aurora police had actually searched a house at 2200 Lansing Street, which in the same area Lashaya was walking the night she disappeared. Police said that she did know the previous tenants that lived in there. Now, I will tell you, for whatever reason, I don't know, but they did not look into the house till after the tenants were out. So when they went into it, it was an empty house. So they went in there, guys, and they spent 3 days in the house. They brought in equipment that could break through concrete to even see if she possibly, was buried. And unfortunately, they did not find any evidence. Fortunately, they did not find her. But if there was any evidence or anything found, they did not disclose it. But still, of now, they have not released any news on it. But they really went through it. Like I said, they even took stuff out, but I feel that there was nothing. Like I said, nothing added up. I even have a quote that says, "No news yet has come out whether anything was found." And that was as of November 21st, 2020, when they did that. And now we are in 2024. Guys, I want to tell you, Lashaya at the time was only 16 years old. One of the features Lashaya has is a scar on her chest. On the day of her disappearance, Lashaya was seen wearing a black V-neck shirt, black stone-washed jeans, silver hoop earrings, a silver watch on her left arm. She has brown eyes, brown hair, 5'6", and she weighed about 150 pounds. Again, this was at the time of her disappearance, and they have done the age progressive. But just in case you happen to remember seeing her at a bus stop with anybody, if it rings a bell or anything, I wanted to make sure I still got that out there. If you have any tips on possibly anything to come, anything you remember, if you live in this area, if you were a friend of hers, an old neighbor, anything, if you remembered seeing her possibly sneaking out before meeting somebody, maybe you can remember a car, anything, nothing is too little. If you have any tips, you can call the Aurora Police Department, and I will put this in my description, 303-627-3100, or the Colorado Crime Stoppers at 720-913-7867. As of today, in February of 2024, there has not been any more sightings or leads of Lashaya Stine. You will see at the end of every story, I like to create a ribbon for the victim. The ribbon represents a prayer to know that we are here for the family, for the victim, to get justice. And this is for Lashaya Stine, last seen July 15th, 2016. She was 16 years old. Here, I like to place it. The other ribbons that we remain praying for. This concludes Lashaya Stine's story as we pray for justice. I thank you for listening. Please leave any comments or questions below, and I will see you on the next search.